Welcome, my lovely millennials, my fabulous matriarchs. Welcome back to the Millennial Matriarch Podcast. It has been a minute because, surprise, we left you on red last week. We didn't post an episode and we didn't give you any warning. So for you loyal listeners, we do apologize, but we needed a little break. And my lovely co-host here, Alexis, fully lost her voice. So I am so glad that she is here and almost at 100% today.
It's really my fault we didn't record an episode last week because my voice sounded like Kermit. And then from there, it just got completely worse. And you couldn't really hear me very well. So I had to be like, you know what? The voice was on the fritz. We had to cancel. Ashlie, thank you for understanding. My voice is way better now. It may not be 100%, but it's a lot better. But anyway, I missed you. I missed you last week.
I know. It was like we were in person, we had that, and then we had nothing for a week and a half. Today, we are going to do what we had planned last week, which is we're going to have a full mouthful. It's been about a month since we have, so it's time to get into some topics. You know it as the Millennial Mouthfuls. It's a little silly. It's a little slutty. It's just like us. This is where we talk about what we love, what we hate, what we've been up to, what we're doing, what's really pissing us off this week, or most notably what's pissing Ashlie off this week because she always has something. But that's what we're going to be chatting out this week, just what's on our mind. I love these episodes. I've got some thoughts, so I'm excited to get into it. First thing I'll say is that I am less than 12 hours off of my flight home.
Welcome. Well, I guess I can't welcome you back to Austin because I am not there, but Austin welcomes you back. You were an East Coast girly for 3 weeks, almost.
Two and a half to be fair, if we want to get technical. But yeah, if you haven't been listening, I have been on the East Coast for a couple of weeks. It was all in prep for the lead up to my best friend's bridal shower, but I went a couple weeks early to go to Boston, see Lexi, of course, see my sister, see some friends, and then make my way to Connecticut, see family, and then, of course, end with the bridal shower. So that's where I've been. And I just have to say that I am tapped.
I
will not be speaking to anyone except you once a week on this podcast until the Bachelorette, which is in late June. Not because the bridal shower wasn't fabulous and wonderful and so freaking worth it, but I do this to myself. I fill 2.5, 3 weeks with as much socializing as possible, and I burn myself out. And listen, old Ashlie would be appalled. She'd be like, where's my extroverted queen? But I don't know. I mean, we've talked about just, aging and how things change, but COVID really kicked me into this introverted, extroverted part of myself. And now I find that my battery really depletes.
You're also in your stay-at-home era. So you went from I'm pretty much staying at home. Yes, you're going out and you're socializing, but you're really in your stay-at-home era. And then you 180'd it and you said, let me hit the ground running. But this is what happens because you haven't been back in Boston for a while. Also, well, I'm going to speak specifically to Boston because that's where I am. But it's you came back to somewhere you hadn't been. So then it's you had to do all the things while you were there. And you made all these stops along the way. Right. So while it's a lot of fun, it is exhausting. And now I need to know more about this bridal shower because you planned it, correct?
I partially planned it along with the so I am matron of honor, which let's just pause right there. Matron of honor because I'm married.
Bitch.
Yep. And I was like, wow, I've been a maid of honor before, but I've never been a matron of honor. This was my earliest opportunity. So I, the matron of honor and the maid of honor, along with the bride's older sister, and some of the bridesmaids, community plan. So I cannot take all the credit at all. It was really a communal effort. And it was a fresh off the market theme. And I'm going to go ahead and support the bride on this when I say that when she came up with this theme, hadn't heard about it, wasn't seeing TikToks about it,
Yeah,
wasn't,
what is
seeing
it?
Pinterest boards about it. But now everyone and she's like, now everyone and their mother is doing it. And I'm like, listen, that is just, I don't know if you feel this way, but that is just the way that wedding planning seems to go. I felt like leading up to my wedding, every like song that I chose for the ceremony, every like little element that I had at the reception, like all of a sudden I was seeing it online. And I know that's the way the algorithm works, but like you'll come up with such a unique idea and then you feel like other people are doing it. And you're like, motherfucker, like I had this idea first. I'm like, girl, I hear you. But yeah, fresh off the
Wait, I
market.
have
So
never heard this theme.
I'm so glad to hear that because that means that, it is as unique as I thought. So yeah, it's basically like farmers market. So it's like fruits and veggies and like gingham tablecloths and rustic baskets and like we decorated in the spirit of all of that and then we all wore like themed outfits. So like some ladies wore like gingham dresses and other people wore florals. I from Newly got this adorable like blue gingham two-piece set and it had like fruits and veggie prints all over it coming to my TikTok soon. It'll be out by the time this episode comes out so you can see what I wore. And listen, a theme hates to see me coming. There is not a theme that I have not figured out how to show up for in terms of my dress, in terms of activity ideas. So speaking of, we did things like recipe for love cards. And it was like these little takeaway cards that the bride could take home with her that basically you could put like an actual recipe, right? Like food, or you could put like advice, like recipe for love. So like advice ideas, little silly things. I said go silly, go slutty, like just put whatever. So people did that. We did a little like market bingo scavenger hunt. So there was sort of like a list and a grid that I designed of like all of these um tasks or think answers that they had to find by mingling with other guests. So like get a bridesmaid signature, find out what the colors of the wedding are,
Check mark for forcing the guests to actually hang out with each
to
other.
be
Look at you.
social, right? And then we had like a communal game where it was like guess the produce. So we blindfolded a bunch of guests and gave them like really weird and some phallic shaped fruits and veggies. They had to guess what it was just by like touching it and smelling it. I was like, please don't eat it. And then we like gave away like baskets to like the prize to the winners of the games, and then there was just like all of this amazing food. It was very much like grazing board type food, right? Like
Love.
charcuterie and
Yeah.
like little spinach pies, and for dessert it was like chocolate dipped strawberries, and like everything was themed. It was so cute. The bride and her fiance made homemade jam, and that was the party favor. So we got little like gingham fabrics. We put them in mason jars. We put little stickers on top. Oh, and there was a make your own mini bouquet activity. So we went to Trader Joe's the day before and we got all of these flowers. And
So
then,
smart to get them from Trader Joe's because that's the best
yeah,
way. I do make at home flower
incredible.
arrangements all the time from Trader Joe's because they have a good variety and they're very affordable.
So good. And the people there were so lovely. Like, shout out to the Trader Joe's. I think it was in Hamden, Connecticut. Not only was there like abundance, like their flower section was massive, but the people there, um, shout out to Janet, who was the person who checked us out, who took her time. She inspected every bouquet that we picked. When there was a flower that was like wilted or bending, she made someone go back and get a new bouquet for us. She was like, "This is for a bridal shower. We're not going to play." And yeah, and the flowers lasted like, I mean, they would have lasted way beyond that, but they were like still like perfectly fresh 24
Mhm.
hours later. And yeah, we got like parchment paper and twine and people just like kind of cut and like made their own bouquets, and it was really really cute and really special. And it was going to rain and then it didn't, so we really really got lucky. But yeah, I mean, for those who don't know listening, like I am a planner through and through, not just with like
You are.
my day, not just with my routine, but like I love to plan a party. Like it's a lot of effort, but it really like fills my cup. I love coming up with like kitschy ideas and themes. So and most important, the bride had a great time. She looked incredible. And it kicked off all the celebrations. We've got bachelorette in June, we've got
Yay!
wedding in September. So, yeah, it's like it was nice to be together and like, okay, like it's happening. So,
Yeah.
and here I am.
Well, I had to know about the bridal shower because I obviously know that you are a party planner extraordinaire. So I was like, what magic is she up to? Another question I have for you, but it's not about the bridal shower. Was G so happy for you to be back home?
Yes.
Or is he so happy for you to be back home?
Yeah. He's like, he always has this thing. He's like, all right. He's like, first couple days, whatever, just living my life. The house gets a little messy. I'm like, listen, well, mama don't know won't hurt her. You can do whatever you want in
As
this
long as
house.
it's
I don't need to
clean
know about
when
it.
I walk
As
in the
long as it's,
door.
as long as it's the way I left it, the way I left it or better. Like, I don't care.
Like,
Um, but yeah, he's like, after a few days, it's like, all right, that's enough now. Like, this isn't fun anymore. And I'm like,
oh
oh,
my
we got a ways
gosh.
to go. So yeah, he's happy. The pups are happy. Tris, was happy to see me, but Clover, is really, really was excited. She like did that thing, and like you come home after a while and she did that thing where she like squealed. She's like,
Squeals.
yeah, like she was so excited.
Literally every single day Big E comes home from work, Cookie squeals.
Every
Like
day?
every day. Like,
Shit.
okay, maybe not literally every day, but more often than not. Like, we
That's
joke
so
that
sweet.
when Biggie goes to work or anything, like, Cookie waits at the top of the stairs and, like, looks at him and, like, we're like, Biggie will be like, "Okay, bye, I'm going to war." Like, 'cause the drama, and then when he returns, it's like, "Oh, I haven't seen you for weeks and weeks. You've come back to me." Mind you, it's
Yeah.
like he's been gone for like an 8-hour day. L
It's like bullshit when they like your partner and like I mean, obviously Cookie loves you, but like when they act that way with your
Yeah.
partner and you're like, dude, I don't know about you, but I'm like, I pay for your pet insurance, I make your appointments, I make sure you get your flea and tick medication every month. I'm the one who's ordering the like I'm obviously we're very
Right.
much like 50-50 in terms of our like dog parenthood, but I love to like rub it in. I'm like, this is bullshit. The amount I do for you, this you
My
you
god.
don't you don't get excited like that. That's Trish specifically. She's like, I don't get that excited when
No.
mom comes home.
I always say this, Big E is Cookie's best friend. So, like, I am mom. Like, he loves me, he needs me. I'm also the person that he spends most of the time with, but, like, that Biggie is his homie. That is, like, his friend. So, the way that he gets excited for
That's a
him is a
great way
little
of putting
different,
it.
but yeah. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
really the and I think that if I had the misfortune of becoming a human parent, I'd be the same way. I'm not really like the get on the ground and like roll around and wrestle and like play kind of dog parent. I'm more of
Uh-huh.
like the nurturing, cuddly, like let me get you what you need, let me buy you new toys kind of parent. So G serves that other purpose. What have you been up to in the what week and a half since we spoke? Anything fun, exciting, new?
Well, after you left, the next night I went with a few friends. Don Lemon was doing a show in Boston. So
Yeah.
we did that, which was just listen, I'm a lemon head. I love Don Lemon. It was Don Lemon and Hu Don Huey. Oh my God. I need to Google his name because if I butcher it, the people are gonna come after me. Yeah. Don Lemon and DL Hewley. So it's like the DL and like the DL show. So DL Hewley is a comedian, and then Don Lemon he is a former CNN journalist. He does big, he's got a big independent media following now. So they did a show in Boston, and that was so much fun. Also, I know that it's not possible, but I do have a crush on Don Lemon. He is like
I get it.
I find, oh my God, after he got out of jail, the way his husband is holding his hand and they're walking out the photo. Oh my God, literally talk about couple goals. But anyway,
You're like, "I've
did
never been more jealous in my life."
literally, I just was like, I actually was talking to this group of girls that I went with. I was like, I need to like print us out this photo and get it framed. It's like, we all need this in our homes. Like, this is love. Yeah, that was the highlight. And then I kind of got sick like pretty quickly after. So I've just been rehabbing. I've been watching a lot of reality TV, which I am going to segue right into. Obviously, we've got to talk about it. The Real Housewives of Rhode Island. The first
Yes.
5 episodes are out now.
Mhm.
What are your initial thoughts? What are you thinking and feeling? Gimme, gimme, gimme.
Okay. So I know I talked about it in our last episode, but I only talked about it for the purposes of spotlighting their
We
accent
talked
and
about
the
it for, like,
fact that
half a second.
yeah, only to talk about the accent and the fact that one of the husbands headlines at the Coppa basement on a frequent basis. But okay, I think if you talked to me last week, I would have said merp, like, nah, I don't really know. But I think things are picking up. I'm
Okay.
starting to and you know it's a good sign when I start to remember their names. It means that they've become significant enough. Not that I'm the barometer, but for my own barometer,
For
that
your own
means
barometer.
okay. That means I'm actually starting to like associate them with their own storylines. And despite the fact that almost everyone on the RHORI cast looks exactly the same,
No,
I can now
literally.
identify I can now identify all of them. So that in and of itself is a signifier that I'm getting into it. I am very interested, as terrible as it is, interested and invested in the cheating husband, Rula's husband. Rula, who came in on episode 2 or 3. My sister was like, "Why'd
2?
they do that?" I
Yeah.
was like, "Ah, they do that. They do that now and then. They'll like
Sometimes
bring in
they do that,
someone
yeah. It's probably like a scheduling conflict.
could be a scheduling conflict, or I don't know if it's like a way to like not overwhelm you with the amount of names and people. I'm not really sure, but I'm interested in what's going on there. I am appalled that, and I think it was at the, uh, oh, it was the Studio 54 party, which I am so
Yes.
mad that both my parents have passed age 54 and none of us thought of a Studio 54 party. My parents were New Yorkers in the 80s and 90s. They would have like or 70s, 80s. They would have like loved that theme. I'm so mad. Talking about themes again and party. I'm so mad I didn't think of that. So let's put a pin in that. And then maybe when
Wait, can
I
I
turn
just tell you,
54,
we will do a Studio 54 party for you 100% when you turn 54. But I'm pretty sure the same week that RHORI did their Studio 54 party, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills had their Studio 54 party for Rachel Zoe on that. I was like, what is going on?
oh, yeah. Right. You're saying it's not that they physically took place at the same time. I hear
No,
ya.
no,
I
no.
hear
They didn't
ya.
obviously didn't take place, but I was like that. I feel like both episodes came out the same week, and I was like, what is going on right now?
Yeah, that was interesting. But, hey, it's a solid theme. I love it. Turning 54, sublime. So I'm really interested, but I was appalled at the sit down between Rula and her lying, stinking, cheating husband, and Joellen and I believe Gary, her husband, and Rula's husband basically like trying to like circumvent, like make an excuse as to why he called Joellen's job when she basically illuminated for Rula that her husband had been cheating. And he was like, "Oh yeah, like I just like want it." Could you fucking imagine you're working in
Imagine.
corporate America? You're working in corporate and you do something in your social life. You tell a friend, "Hey, and I heard some things. I just wanted to let you know about your husband." And then that man calls your company's HR team,
Sorry.
eh, like, to say what? To say what? She's what is she breaking a morality clause? The most
Actually
ridiculous thing
have
I've
to
ever
say
heard.
this. I have to this because I've worked in social media for my entire career. The amount of complaints that I had to triage about people who would reach out on social media to complain to people's jobs about things that they had done online or whatever, like, it happens. Like, it
So
totally
weird.
happens. I do think it's insane. I think it's absolutely insane. I also especially think this instance is insane because it's like, you have this grown ass man. Like, what are you doing? Also, why the fuck are you on the show? It is so clear to me that this guy is hiding something. I'm like, what are you doing? Why? Why even be on the show?
You know what this reminds me of? It's the Kelsey Grammer of it all. Kelsey Grammer basically encouraged his wife back in the
Camille
day on
Grammer.
season 1, Camille, on Real Houses of Beverly Hills season 1, basically encouraged her, despite the fact that he was having an ongoing affair and really wanted out of the marriage, encouraged her to go on this show kind of knowing, you know, had a gut feeling that, hey, this will kind of give her her own thing and will sort of allow me, despite looking bad, it'll allow me to kind of like slip out of the marriage. Like this will have her like, and I hate to say it was like a gift because let's be honest, like that's a fucked up way of looking at it. It was because she really got to like propel herself into her own thing. And even though she didn't last on the show, I think like it probably gave her that stability. I feel like that's what this is giving because in 2026 or 2025, when they filmed this, you cannot be this dumb. It doesn't matter that you don't watch reality TV. I know nothing about her husband, but let's just say he doesn't watch or he doesn't understand. Come on, man. You know that this is going to come out, especially knowing that there's already been social media circulation and you were caught initially. So that's why I think he's pulling a Kelsey Grammer and he's trying to sort of like slip out while she's distracted with her own thing. I mean, it's all gonna come to pass and it's not gonna look good. I think her deciding to still stay with him is killing him. I think that he's like, God, just fucking leave me. Just leave me so I can get out. Because at this point, there's no way this isn't intentional.
It's literally insane. And I actually have to say, obviously, we don't know a ton about the cast members at this point. Like we're only 5 episodes in. We're still trying to feel everybody out. I mean, I definitely have got like my radar up on a few of them. While I think Joe Ellen is trying to like be in the mix, I actually do not think that she is a dog with a bone on this for no reason. Like, I very much
No.
feel like Joe Ellen is like, girl, like, what are you doing? This guy is cheating on you with his eyes wide open. Like, also, the fucking mistress posting up, like, what is going on? Like, nothing about this affair. First of all, it's not, I don't know, in my mind, once your affair is public, it's not an affair. Like, it's
Yeah,
like the
well,
affair is the secrecy of it. It's giving like,
it's giving she didn't know he was married, or it's giving I know he's married and I don't
yes,
care.
either way, it's icky on the mistress's part. I mean, it's icky on everybody's fucking part, but like,
So
I'm like,
icky.
what the hell? Especially because they have kids. I'm like, what the like mistress, clean your act up. Like, just like, I don't know,
Yeah.
figure it out. Don't be posting like public fucking stories.
I'm also very interested in this and oh, see the names, they're not sticking. It's not Rosie because it's not the
Describe and I'll help you with the name.
whose husband has a girlfriend half the year in Miami.
Yes, that's Kelsey. But Kelsey also has a boyfriend whose boyfriend has now been on the show twice. I
Yeah, I'm
love it.
very interested in this. I don't think feel free to keep me honest. I don't think we've seen a and I also don't want to labor it as polyamory because that's not necessarily what it is, but I don't want to I don't think we've ever seen that before in the Real Housewives franchise. Like someone who lives like an alternative um relationship
Lifestyle.
lifestyle where they
Yeah.
have like multiples. And listen, there's a part of me that thinks like Kelsey doesn't want it this way, but she's sort of like, "Hey, if he's going to do it, why shouldn't I?" But it's
Well,
it's
and it's
interesting.
very much it is interesting, and I do have to say I appreciate that, like, from what she is making it sound like, this was the understanding from the jump at the relationship. So it's not like they were in, like, a monogamous relationship and then the boyfriend was like, "Oh, nope, I wanna also have a girlfriend." It was like, "These are the expectations up front, like, take it or leave it." But also, I really like feel for Kelsey and that Kelsey now she's in her early 30s and she's like, "Hey, I don't know if this is what I want." Like I think she wants more of like a full-time partner. And honestly, if for nothing at all to live in that fucking giant house by yourself, I'd be petrified. I would be
Yeah.
so freaking scared. And I hope that the housekeeper that they keep flashing to, I hope that she lives there. I hope that they have slumber parties. I hope that they hang out together. Like what it is just I would love more for her if that's what she wants, but I also am very interested. Like I love that we're going to be able to see this play out.
Yeah, me too. And we're early enough in the season that we definitely are going to get that arc. Because I'd be pissed if it was like the end of the season and it was this like ongoing thing. And, it's part of the reason why now I'm invested.
Right. To connect another dot. Then you've got this Dino character who you've got Liz and her husband, Jerry, are best friends with this guy, Dino, who it also sounds like Dino and Kelsey had some kind of something.
Back in the day. To the point where Kelsey seems kind of like she's like doesn't like this guy. Like she's like, "This guy kinda
No.
like fucked with my life for a little bit. So like I don't even like that he's like your friend. I don't even want him around." And Liz right, and Liz is the one who's like, "Oh, but like he's such good friends with me and my
Yeah.
husband."
Yeah.
When he used to go first of all, what the fuck is sport fishing? Second of all, who can afford to go sport fishing 3 out of 4 weeks of the month? I know this is the guy that runs, like, the cannabis empire, but, like, goddamn. You can afford to literally just not work for 3 out of 4 weeks of the month and leave your wife home alone? And also,
Apparently, he's become a very good sport not fisher, fisher.
evidently, but then who in their right mind says to another man, "Hey, take care of my wife for me." What the fuck does that
So
mean?
that is what I wanted to talk to you about, and I was actually about to bring it up, so thank you. Um, that it's funny because on one side, I get the, "Hey, I'm gonna be out of town. If she needs anything, like, I want her to feel like she can call you." Like, okay, fair. But then the way Liz describes it, it's like they're going out together, they're doing things together. I'm like, wait, like now it's not like a friend looking out for a friend's wife. Now it's like, oh, we've got, I want you to take my wife, what, on dates when I'm not around? Show her a good time? Like, what?
Right, like, is she has friends. She doesn't need to be, like, taken out by you. But I could see how this could be completely innocent, but when you live in a small town, when you live in a small state, like, things things don't look good, you know? I could see that. Or maybe there was something nefarious. I'm not really sure. Do you remember, because I think I blacked out the most recent episode. What was the whole Alicia Kelsey no, not Alicia Rosie fight that they resolved in 2 seconds flat? I didn't even know what they were fighting about.
So the Alicia Rosie fight started from the episode before when they were on those little peddler. I can't remember what their outdoor
Yes.
excursion was, but they were doing some
Yeah.
outdoor excursion where they were each paired off in twos, except for one set of three, where they were biking along a railroad and then they like had a campfire and drank and had some bites. But
Yeah.
apparently during this, Rosie and Alicia had a conversation where Alicia kind of was talking about how she, is afraid of Liz because when Liz and Kelsey got into the fight the episode before that and kind of how Liz popped off. And then Rosie Rosie is working for her season 2. Rosie is on season 1 with the goal of getting on season 2. Like, I think that's her strategy. She's
Sure.
like, be enough of a shit stir that like things happen around me that like that they're going to bring me back. Um, but then Rosie says this to Liz. And personally, I think that the way that Alicia handled this situation just shows that she's afraid of Liz because she like gets so mad at Rosie for saying something. And listen, she's not wrong. Like, if I'm going to confide in you, like, don't be out here telling everybody. But also, if there's a friend in my life that I'm afraid of, bet your ass I'd be like, listen, I don't want to piss you off. I want to keep you on my good side. There's certain people in my life that I'm like, listen, don't piss
Yeah.
them off. I want to stay on their good side, and
You
I'm
know
going to
who
own
this
it.
reminds me of?
Which person?
You know who Alicia reminds me of? And there's one in every Real Housewives cast. She reminds me of Dolores as it relates to ride or die for
Teresa.
Teresa.
But Dolores is not afraid of Teresa. Not
I
at
disagree.
all.
I think there's something weird there. I do not
You do?
understand, not to go on a Real Houses of New Jersey diatribe, but I do not understand, other than history and
I think it's
blind
history for
loyalty,
them.
which I'm not a fan of blind loyalty. Other than that, I don't understand Dolores's incessant need to stand by Teresa. Now, if you rewatch Real Houses in New Jersey, the season that Dolores came on with Ziggy Lee, also known
Soggy
as
Siggy.
Siggy Fletcher,
Fletcher.
you'll remember that there was a little like tension between Dolores and Teresa. And I think that Teresa somehow emotionally and socially punished Dolores for that for so long. That's why now you never see Dolores go against Teresa. So I feel like Alicia is playing that role
To Liz.
for Liz as sort of like the queen bee, and she is kind of like she gets loud and she gets whatever, so you sort of you want to back down, but she's not really saying much. She's not really
She
like
wasn't saying
defending herself. She's
anything.
also not really defend right. It's just like word salad argument. And I also think like, dost thou protest too much? I think that's what you were saying, right? Like, oh, she's
Yeah.
getting all like up in arms because she probably is afraid that if she doesn't defend, or if Liz finds out that she did in fact say something that's in any way disparaging towards her, she'll somehow like emotionally or socially punish her, and she'll live to regret it. So she's got to get loud and say, no, 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 I didn't say that. You put words in my mouth. You're blah, 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 blah. It's too
Or you
much.
twisted my words. My favorite thing ever though is when Liz is like at the end of their argument when Alicia and Rosie hug and make up. Liz is like, "What's this flip flop fight? I have never seen.
Yeah. I hate it.
Never
I hate it.
seen." Well, and I don't think Alicia is confrontational. I think that that is also where this stemmed from, is that Rosie like kind of outed her and like put her in a position where she like was maybe going to have to defend herself, and like that's not. I mean, look at the whole storyline here about her with her fiance, where she's like he won't let her put the name on the house. She's got no like ties to this business that she has helped him like set up, the pizzeria. So
Red flag. This is the
four
husband,
of
by the way,
them.
that sings. This is the husband, by
Well,
the way, that sings a capo. Just saying.
well, it's not.
Um,
They're not married. It's the fiance.
sorry, you're right. Fiance of
Which is an
9 plus
important
years.
distinction of 9 plus years.
Listen, I will never pass judgment on someone's like, you know what? I just want to be engaged. I don't really want to be married.
Yeah.
But this is where I draw the line.
Listen, your name's got to be on that house, honey.
I was very impressed with the way that Ashley I broke it down for her.
Yeah.
No, no, no. This is the home where you raise his child.
Yep.
Granted, it's your child too. This is the home which raises child. This is where the home that you make cozy and you make great for him. This is where you've built a life for him and his child. This house is 50% yours. Like the
Yep.
full stop. You need to get this under control. I mean, that is a red flag of all red flags. I mean, she kind of posed them not getting married because she kind of gets weary of commitment and like blah, blah, blah. But I think that he's really happy with that, because then he doesn't have to commit either. Then he doesn't have to
Yeah.
put her name on the deed, make sure that they have a prenup before they get married. Like that I think you cannot live in that state of purgatory, because it will screw you in the end. And what's going to happen? What
Yep.
always happens when people enter the show, if you do not have a strong couple entering these shows, it's not going to work. I mean, I think there are some notable strong couples that even if they broke up years and years later, aka Kyle and Mauricio, listen, the show is not what broke them. But I think every couple on shaky ground that we see come into this franchise, it doesn't end well. And a lot of the times it's because
Shannon and David Bador.
I think that the male partner, it's a great example, becomes insecure. I think that they don't like no longer being the breadwinner. They don't like no longer being second in command. They no longer like that their wife is or partner or fiance is getting, all the attention, and all of a sudden their schedule changes and they can't stay home and take care of the kids anymore. I'm not saying all the partners, the male partners on the show, but a lot. So I think that if you're entering in that way, it's not going to end up well, and you're going to wish that you had some paperwork so that he doesn't make your life a living hell should you split. I'm so nervous for her.
I know.
I really hope that changes. I don't know.
I guess we'll have to see. But I have to say, all in all, I am excited about this franchise and I am happy with what we're starting to see. And I'm just, I say this all the time. There is something about that S1E1 cast that, like, doesn't know how to play well, you can't sit here and say doesn't know how to play the game yet because it's like there's been enough reality,
Yeah.
like, Housewives shows at this point, but it's like, you know, some of that early stage drama, I'm
Yeah.
I'm here for. So, I'm sure we will talk more about Rory as it develops. Alright, it's your favorite topic.
My favorite sub segment is the segment where Ashley bitches and complains about something. All right, so I put this in like so Alexis and I have like a little shared notes app for this notes for this podcast, and sometimes I just like throw random thoughts in there. And what I threw in there a few weeks ago was this thought that I think that skinny people actually take up more space than plus size people. And here's why I think that. I think this is going to get a little deep, but I promise it's comical. I think that when you're a larger person such as myself, you navigate and walk around the world differently. You know, you're very conscious of like trying to be smaller, whether it's like
Mhm.
physically, right? Like sort of like making sure that you're not taking up too much physical space. And sometimes maybe like socially, like, oh, like I just don't want to take up too much space. Like I'm already such a big person, you know, having a big personality on top of it. Or you know, and listen, I could be totally alone here, but I think as someone with that lived experience, like I can relate to it. Do I abide by it? No, clearly not. Big personality over here. Big tits, big body, big
Take up
personality.
space.
But I think that the inverse of that is certain people who live in smaller bodies like don't have that kind of awareness about their body and how much space they can take up like in general. I want people to take up space, but I'll give you an example and sort of what pinpointed this. Of course, it was at the gym. So there's these cubbies at the gym where everybody, you know, throws their sneakers, their bags into before they go into their class. And, you know, of course, like when multiple classes let out, there's sort of like a crowding that happens around these cubbies. And there's been many occasions where someone, instead of taking their stuff and like going over to a table and putting on their shoes and their sweater over there, they choose to do it in front of these cubbies. And so you've got a line of people behind them sort of trying to get to their cubbies. And this person is like, just la di da, just, oh, this is my world and you're just living in it kind of thing. And it's always like a smaller person. And I'm like, I need to like be able to get around you. Like, like you have no awareness about the people that are coming around you that are trying to like get to their stuff. Like you don't get to take up space and time in front of this thing putting on your sneakers while the rest of us also need to like get in there and like get to the showers so that we can get to work. And then it also happens like in classes sometimes where it's like there's, you know, especially like a hot Pilates where there's like a mat, there's dumbbells, there's a band, there's blocks, and like there's a set space that you have in that room and their stuff's just like spread out all over. And I'm just like, hello. Like, and it's a bit, you know, it's a little jealousy, right? Like, I'm just jealous and I'm a little resentful. It's like, here I am. Like, I try to make myself small. I try to be really conscientious of the things that are around me in my space and how much I'm taking up and imposing my space around other people. And here you are. And you know what? The worst fucking culprits of the middle seat on an airplane, skinny people.
Bringing it
They
back
got
to the middle seat.
that in the middle seat. They got elbows out. Like, and I listen, and middle seat's a hard place to be. Um, or you know what? You could say even not middle seat. You could say there's a smaller person in the window or the aisle, and they're like, fuck all the middle seat. They got elbows out. They're leaning towards you. They're falling asleep, drooling on your fucking neck. And it's like, hello? Like, here I am with my arms literally like crossed
Literally,
over my chest so that the broadness of my body doesn't stick into your seat. And you're the one with the aisle, and you're the one with the window seat, and you don't like, what the fuck? Like, it's always a thinner person. I'm not generalizing all thin people. I'm just doing a sociological study on the art of being thin and not knowing how much space you take up. And I just wanted to point that out. Does any of this make sense to you?
100%. I don't disagree with you. I definitely have been in situations and circumstances where I have felt like, oh, yeah, what? Just because you're smaller, you can like take up more room. I also want to say this Big E lost a ton of weight, and that was something that I noticed with him. Like, like early on in our relationship, he being a bigger guy would like be like up against the fucking wall. Like we would be in crowded spaces and I would be like, bro, you can like be in this room. And he would just like want to like, like make space. And I'm like, you're fine. Mind you, the amount of times that I have been in places with small people where they're like, arms are flailing everywhere, their bags are everywhere, their shit's everywhere. And I
Right.
think it is. I think it's because they're just not conscious of it in the same way. Like you're
Mhm.
constantly thinking, okay, how can I, like you said, take up less space, not be all out here. They're like, they're like, I've never had to be aware of how much space I take up because it's never been a problem with how
That's
much
what it
space
is.
I've taken up.
That's what it is.
So
I've never had to. There's gotta be a happy medium. That's all I'm saying. I think that people that live in larger bodies can be a little less weary of taking up space because they're a human being and they have every right to sit in a certain chair or be in a certain place or stand in front of a certain thing for a little too long once in a while. But I think that like people in smaller bodies can also take a little bit of note and be more like conscientious of the space that they're taking up because because there are people around them that are trying to be smaller. So it's like we got to meet halfway in a little bit. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
honestly, I think that every single fucking person could benefit from trying to be a little more self aware.
Yeah. I
Because
mean,
you know who else I have a huge problem with? Huge problem with? Probably my biggest problem, even though I no longer go into a physical office. Freaking men on the tee with their backpacks. The
I was just going to
amount
say
of
men.
men on the tee with their backpacks during like when the tee is packed. Bro, take the backpack off. Take it off. Put it in front of you. Oh, that is that grinds my gears.
Take the
I'm like,
backpack off.
talk about
Yeah.
somebody that's like unaware of how much space they're taking up. Oh my God. The amount of times I've like intentionally elbowed a fucking guy's backpack on a morning commute because I'm like,
Yeah.
why is your backpack all the way out here? Tighten up. We're trying to all get to work.
And to
Anyway.
give men just like a couple of more notes sort of in this realm, what I'm about to say is not chivalry. So I don't want it to be like, oh, it's a double standard. You want to be treated equal, but you want men to do. That's not what I'm about to say. What I want to focus in on is the fact that women are more likely to help other women in the following circumstances.
Yes.
Number one, growing up in New York City, the only people that ever helped my mother bring the stroller down the subway stairs because they don't all have elevators is other women. Number
Yep.
two, very often struggling with a bag in the overhead compartment. Who helps? It's a woman. Sometimes a man will help when he feels like eyes are on him and he looks like a dick if he doesn't. But like yesterday, for instance, like I sort of was like struggling to like, it was sort of like it was a lip and I was getting, and the guy just whoop, didn't, a foot taller than me, by the way, and just stood there with his arms crossed. And I'm like, awesome, awesome. So, yeah, that whole consciousness and awareness of the things that are happening around you, it applies to like helping other people. And women in general do have that consciousness about other women, but there's sort of that subtopic of like thinner people, smaller people, but smaller men or they're the biggest culprits, the biggest. But anyway, on to something more positive. We are 2 months out from the Hillary Duff concert.
We need to outfit plan. You and I, we need to start a note with that. We need to like figure this out. We
We
need to
really
come
do.
correct.
And it is the weekend, or I think it's the weekend after I get back from the bachelorette party. So I basically just need to
Damn.
like,
You gotta like sleep for that week.
I think when I outfit plan for the batch, I'm going to consider the Hillary Duff concert outfit like another outfit in the deck. Like I'm just going to like add it on and act like it's all one so that it's ready for me when I come back. Because yeah, I really need to figure out like what angle I want to take. And I'd love to share that with you. But as just sort of like a midway check-in as we get into that time, I just want to say to the people that have not listened to the new Hillary Duff album, the one that this whole tour is based off of, it is fucking fire.
So good.
I feel like she left us and then she met us right where we are in our mid-30s.
Yes. Do you know who else I feel that way about?
Yeah.
Not to completely
No, I'm interested.
digress. I was attracted to Zac Efron when he was in High School Musical, and I still am attracted to Zac Efron. Zac Efron has just he has evolved with my taste. We have matched.
But has he put in the work, or is he just naturally that's just, that's God and
He's
biology.
kind of more grizzly now. I'm into
Yeah,
it.
although
Anyway,
I
back.
feel terrible about what's happened to his chin. You've
Yeah, I
seen this?
know. He's still hot
Yeah,
though.
no fault
Yeah,
of his
but
own.
he's still
Still hot.
hot. But yeah.
Still hot, and it's getting
But
better. The
anyway, yes,
swelling's going
I
down.
agree that Hillary Duff, but I also think it's nice because we're the same age as her. So I think that innately
That's what
there
it
is
is.
something about that where like we get the nostalgia element, but then you also get like, oh shit, this bitch is grown now.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, and I think, like, this album would likely only hit for someone, a millennial, that was around her age when she stopped making music and is now around her age as she started to make music again. And I wanna be clear, like, the melodies of the songs are a little juvenile to me. That's just my opinion. But the
Yeah.
lyrics are what I feel is perfection. I mean, she has a song about it's called Roommates, about, like, sort of the beginning of your relationship with your partner feeling, like, so spicy and sexy, and talks about giving head in the back of a bar, and then sort of feeling like, "Ooh, like, now we've just kinda gotten to this routine, like, he doesn't really see me like he used to, like, it's like we're roommates." She has a song about being afraid that she'll never experience, like, new things again, like, feeling like, "I've experienced it all. What's left?" Like, just in general, not even in relationships, just in general. I think it's called, like, The Honeymoon or something like that. She has a song about arguing with, her partner. I don't know if it's her current partner, an ex-partner. I don't know if it's just, like, in general. She has a line in it. The song is called Waiting or Weather for Tennis, and she has a line in it that's, like, the kind of, like, circles that you run in arguments, and, like, it's, "You calling me batshit is the fastest antibiotic for thinking you're different this time." Excuse me? Crazy line. Crazy line.
Great line.
Um, she
Great
has a
line.
song about her estranged relationship with her sister. She has a song about
Yeah.
growing up with her best friend and things are changing. I mean, it truly runs the gamut. I think that every millennial who currently sits in their 30s, and frankly, I think every woman who's been in her mid-30s can relate to these lyrics. And she doesn't need my promotion, but I just wanted to shout out how fantastic I think this album is. And as much as I want her to play the originals, the oldies, the good stuff, which we know she will, I really hope that
Yeah.
she plays a lot from the new album, because I think by June, the album will have been out for months, and I hope other people are on board and
Months.
she's more comfortable with, like, changing the set list so that it's a little bit more new album heavy. That's my plug.
I'm excited. I'm very excited for us to go. I also love the album. I think it's fantastic. And our outfits are gonna kill it.
I guess if you're listening and you have any ideas for our outfits,
Let us
like,
know.
I don't care if it's cosplay ideas, I don't care if it's costume, like, I will go, to the ends of the earth, but I would love some ideas, if anyone wants to share them, and it's just at the tip of your tongue and you want us to know. I feel like I've been getting a lot of, which I don't know why my algorithm is doing this, but I'm getting a lot of, like, first date story time content right now. Are you anywhere in this sphere?
My algorithm is not first dates story content, but I would love to hear some.
I just feel like I'm getting a lot of people reporting back on their first dates, and some of them are just like regular old, you know, regular Joes out there sharing their stories, and they're going viral or whatever. But even Alex Earl recently, like in the last few weeks, has posted a first date story about how this kills me, about, like, a guy who was like, "All right, I'm gonna pick you up at 3:30," and she's like, "Okay, great. Like, I have plans this evening, so that's perfect. Like, we'll go on a little day date, and then I have plans this evening." not only is he like an hour late for said date, he takes her on what she fears at one point is a kidnapping type of road trip down the PCH in LA, and is just driving aimlessly with her in the car. At one point, he says, "Oh, I made reservations for 7:30." She said, "7:30? It's 4:30. I told you I got plans tonight." And he's like, "Oh, well, are you hungry now?" And she's like, "Nah, not really, but like, I could nosh." And he's like, "Okay." He takes her to Starbucks, gets a chocolate croissant, gets her a matcha. They continue driving down the PCH. She's like, "Where are we going? Like, I thought we were going for a walk." And he's like, "Oh, I'm just driving." At some point, she looks at her watch. She's like, "You got to turn around and take me back. Like, I have plans tonight, as we've previously discussed. Like, your being an hour late is not my problem." And then I saw this other TikTok, and I'm going to find him and credit his handle because we obviously all know who Alex Earl is. But he talks about how he goes on this first date and the girl brings her pet snake in her purse.
No.
His handle is Ben Sitz, BENSITZ, and he's telling this story on the eve of his wedding to another woman. He's like, "I'm getting married tomorrow, but you know what it makes me think about? My dating life and some of the shit shows that I've gone through." He talks about this woman who brings a fucking pet snake, like named Charlie or
Was the
something.
snake just raw dogged in the bag?
Loose in the purse. He goes to a restaurant. She gets up to go to the bathroom. The snake crawls up out of her purse onto the table. He's like, "What the fuck?" The waiter and the manager come over and they're like, "This is a health code violation." He's like, "This isn't my snake, sir. Like, I don't even know this woman. We're just on a first date." And listen, the men out there are crazy, but the fact that a grown woman would think that this is okay and bring a snake to a date is beyond me. So check out his story or his post from a few weeks ago, Ben Sitz. But it just got me thinking, like, what is going on out here? It's 2026. Have we learned nothing?
I can't. Not the snake in the... Okay.
Who's raising these people?
Who's raising who?
Listen, matriarchs. If you're out here raising kids that are an hour late to date, that say they're going to do something with Joan, that drive for hours, that buy a girl a croissant as a meal, that bring snakes to dates, like, if this is who you're raising, stop listening. Stop listening right now. Come on, matriarchs, we can do better.
Can you imagine being on a date and just a snake comes out the top of the...
I would get up and I would leave. I would get up and I would leave.
Wait, I need to know what happened at the end. Was there any kind, like,
go check out check out his post.
Okay, yeah. Was she like, "Oh, so sorry"? Was it an emotional support? Was it an emotional support snake?
No. And there was like a whole like background to it where, like, even I think she was late or something. "Oh, I had to go pick up Charlie." And he's like, "Who's Charlie?" He's thinking she's coming to the date with like a roommate or a friend or another guy. He says, "I wish it was another guy. I wish that she brought another man to our first date that she was romantically interested in. You'll never guess who Charlie is." Something like that. I don't know. I think it ended with a very awkward goodbye.
My God, that is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
I'm grateful for the content, but like we cannot be out here acting this way.
No. I mean, honestly, when you and I still worked together, I went on this first date where the guy very obviously double booked the date with me and somebody after at the same restaurant.
Why?
Like, we were
what
just
is he doing?
He kept like checking his phone. It was very uncomfortable. Like, it felt very rushed. It was very fucking weird. And then I remember he texted me at the end of the night and was like, "Oh, I'd love to see you again." I was like, on what planet do you think this went well? Like, he was just like very clearly rushed that, like, I cannot confirm that there was 100% a double book date, but everything about it was giving the way he was looking around at the place. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, everything about it was like, oh, or what was he like in a relationship aspect? Trying to see if anybody, it was very weird. Either way, it was very freaking weird. And I think I would prefer a snake to, I guess he was a snake in a different way, but
Maybe he was
I don't
afraid to
know,
be
the pet
seen.
snake. He was like,
I've already told my story about, like, the guy who asked me to give him the Yelp review. That was bizarre. Like, again, very
I
similar
know, but I
situation,
love
and it's like,
that.
it didn't seem like you were that into me, so, like, why are you asking for, like, a review and to see me again? There was one time, like, there was actually a series, I may have said this before, but there was a series of dates prior to meeting G where it felt like, and this is not as bad as, the PCH
The
story or the
snake?
snake story, but, like, there were, I would say, at least 3, probably 3 to 5 first dates I had prior to G that I very much felt like they were, like, wanted, like, a relationship, and it didn't matter if it was me or someone else, that they were just, like, interested in, like, having a relationship, which was very odd for being, like, age 25.
Yeah.
Granted, some of them were a little bit older, so obviously. So I guess that tracks, but it was to the point where, like, we weren't having, like, deep conversation on these dates. We weren't having, frankly, very good dates. Like, the chemistry wasn't there, the vibes weren't there. There was one guy who, I let him come over to my house, like, for our quote unquote second date, and we watched a movie. Oh, another tip, ladies and gents, don't watch your favorite movie with someone that you're just dating. We talked last week about not taking someone you're newly dating to a favorite
Restaurant.
restaurant because you run the risk of tainting the joint. Don't watch your favorite movie with. I'm not saying it's fully tainted. I'm just saying it was again
Yeah,
an error on my part.
some things are meant to be sacred.
Yeah,
Yeah.
an error on my part. I wasn't really sure I was into this guy. I was wearing no makeup, sweats. I was fresh out the shower, so I looked like a wet dog. And my I remember my roommate at the time was like, I love you, you're beautiful, but, like, this is what we're doing for this, like, second get together. And I was like, this is all we're doing. Like, I just need to know, like, if there's chemistry or not. Like, it was so awkward. He was
Yeah.
so nervous. The guy, like, barely talked. And I finally texted him a few days later, and I was just like, there's just no chem, babe. Like, there's just no chem.
Yeah.
And I did,
Just
but
no chem.
but what I didn't say, which is what I said before, is, like, it just felt like it wasn't me they liked. It was, like, the idea of me,
The
or, like,
idea.
having a
Mm.
girlfriend. And it was like, I would get these texts like, "Oh, had a great time. Like, would love to see you again. What do you think about next week?" And I had, like, a copy paste text at that point. Like, after the second or third time, I had a copy paste where I was like, I just sent it to them
I
about,
love
like,
how efficient you
oh,
are.
well, you can't waste time when you're looking for love. Um,
Can't waste time when you're looking for love.
I don't even know what I was looking for at that point. I just know I wasn't looking to go from 0 to 60 in
To
2
100,
seconds.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Or, like, and honestly, let's go ahead and put that on the list of things that I don't know how these people are being raised, but, like, to not being able to carry on a conversation. And listen, if you're nervous, like, that's one thing, but if you're so nervous that, like, you can't, like, ask me questions about myself or talk to me about your day in a way that isn't just like, "It was fine. How about you?" Like, I I can't help you. Like, I can't carry the weight of this date on my shoulders.
No. Do you remember when we went speed dating?
I cannot believe it's taken until episode 20 something for this to come up, but I absolutely remember.
29.
This is where this episode ends. Alexis and I went speed dating once together. Go ahead. Tell them. The people want to know.
I don't know what they're I just okay, it was at we went speed dating, this is forever ago, and it was at Market, which I don't think Market's still open, who knows? But I just remember being like, if you and I can speed date, we can talk to if you can go on honestly,
Obviously.
if you're nervous about dating, go speed dating because you should be able to talk to anybody for like 3 minutes. We like made for didn't we go out with a few of them afterwards? Like we like did something after.
We did something after. I don't know if we did it with any of those guys. I don't remember.
I
I
just
don't
remember
think
that
so.
one guy. I remember that one guy Peaches I really hit it off with.
Peaches?
But I don't yeah.
Jesus Christ. I don't remember peaches.
He, like, invited me to go to, like, meet him at Encore that night. I didn't go. I was like,
Oh.
"Sir, I'm not going to meet a man named
I'm pretty sure
Peaches at Encore."
Not that we were above going out on weeknights, but, like, it was already, like, a Wednesday
It was
night.
like a
Like, we
Wednesday, I feel like it was like Monday or Tuesday. It was early in the week.
even worse, even worse.
I know.
I just came off the weekend. I'm still hungover from Sunday. You wanna
And
do what?
I love that you and I did that.
I'm proud of us. But yeah,
I'm
it's
so
like
proud of us.
it's typical setup in that it was like, it was guys and gals, and the gals, I think, stayed stationary, right? And the guys
Yeah, and the
moved.
guys rotated,
And
yeah.
it's 3 minutes. It's 3 minutes each, and at the end, you kinda write down, 1 or 2 people that you, like, maybe would wanna get to know, and if they write your name down too, they email you or something in the next few days, and
Yeah.
they, they connect you. No one liked me, but guess what? I didn't really like them either. I just was, like, desperate for
No.
attention and wrote down a couple names. But yeah,
And then you and I just, like, got, like, hammered after. We had a great time.
obviously. And obviously there was booze involved before, I'm pretty sure before we met up, during, and
And then we
after.
got, like,
I don't
dinner. We were like, "We need to keep going."
probably,
Ah,
probably. But yeah,
well,
even then, I will say there was some guys there that were, like, very shy, but you know what? I was like, "But you're here. So, like, proud of you for putting an effort in. But we need to be able to have a conversation." But yeah,
need
I think
to.
that's a perfect place to wrap
I
it.
do, I do. Wrap it up.
That was a mighty full mouthful. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. If you want more of our daily chaos, hot takes, and semi-responsible wisdom, follow us on social. The Millennial Matriarch Podcast is at the Millennial Matriarch Pod on Instagram. You can also follow Alexis and I on our individual platforms. I am at Millennial Mind of Ash. Alexis is at _millennial_matriarch. We're both on TikTok and Instagram, serving questionable decisions, comforting truths, and the occasional, wait, am I the drama moments? Spoiler, yes, sometimes we are. For more episodes of the Millennial Matriarch, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Substack, and on YouTube. We kindly ask that you rate, review, and subscribe to those channels if you're listening. Until next time, drink some water, trust your gut, listen to the Hillary Duff album, and remember, you're the matriarch of your own fucking castle. Act like it. Love you. Mean it. Bye.